Okay, Oscar Garcia, give us the thought, okay?
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
So, G,
I knew you were gonna.
of course, I'll put you on the spot. G asked me to do a thought of the day yesterday. I didn't even know how to respond to besides, all right. So, I had to think about a little bit what I want to talk about. So, yesterday on my way home, I was thinking, and the story came into my mind. So, I want to share that with you. The story of an individual I know very well. This guy, as a kid, he worked with his father at the streets of the street vendor. His father tried to teach him the right path, how to make an honest living by working hard and do what you have to do to get by. This kid at that moment was considered this man's father's golden ticket out of poverty. So he put a lot of trust in this kid. Well, a couple years later, this kid became a teenager and became a single father. I'm not saying a teen father at the moment. So for his father, that was the worst thing he could do at the age of 15. So now this kid is not this man's golden ticket out of poverty anymore. He's just another what we call in the streets, or a fuck up, excuse my French. So he pulls his son one day to the back of his house and says one of the worst things that you could ever say to a youth at that moment. He disowns him. Kid, with the morals that he has and the respect that he has for him, says, okay. So then he goes out, now he turns into the streets, right? And to try to do what his father taught him one day. Work hard, earn an honest living, and keep moving in life. So the kid does this, the youth does this at that time. But McDonald's won't even hire him to serve some fries, let alone fix up refurbishments, right? So he continues, so he goes into the streets where he thinks is the only way that's gonna make him a couple of chips for the time being. Now, he thought it couldn't get any worse, so he gets worse. He catches a case. The judge slaps him with the book. So now he has a criminal record on top of being a teen father. Next thing, complicates his life even worse in his eyes. So the judge looks at him one day and says, "You'll never be able to work with youth or kids because of your heinous crime." Says, okay. This kid one day with the last drop of hope that he has, not hope for himself as an individual, because at that point he still doesn't trust himself, just like his father doesn't trust him either. Walks into those double glass doors there. But the hope his hope comes from his child. The only thing holding this kid together. He gets granted an opportunity to run with. For 6 years, this guy becomes a man at that point, and he starts helping youth get their GED, the high school diploma. Some of his students, they get their diploma. Some of them turn back to the streets, and some of them pass away. So now he decides to go to college and put himself to college. And he figures there has to be a better way. So he goes and graduates, gets his degree. One day he goes back and he talks to his father. And just like his father always said, very direct individual. And just like the streets taught him, always look someone in the eyes when you talk to him. He talks to his father, he says, "Hey, remember you said out there on Mountain Nothing? Remember you didn't believe in me? You lost your trust in me?" The father, you could see it in his eyes, they didn't want to respond to that. He was just very ashamed of his actions. You could see it in his eyes, but still very prideful. And says, "I never had that conversation with you." So at that point, the young man just decides to leave it alone because he knows it's a battle he can't win with his father. But he knows that he doesn't trust his judgment either. So this individual starts going through life and just trying to figure it out. Now he starts to believe in himself. Now he starts to believe in his trust and trust in himself. He starts to trust his own process. He trusts that the decision that he makes, even though the influence around him, his friends, his family don't trust, he's doing the right thing because they can't understand it. He trusts that he knows what he's doing for himself. He knows what's best for himself. Now he just trusts himself, and he doesn't stop at anything. There's nothing in this world that can stop him. So, moral of the story, when the odds are stacked against you, when your friends don't understand what you're doing, when the people that you love don't trust you, when you felt like they're falling out of love with you because you're making a different turn, you're making different decisions in life, just trust yourself. That's it. Just trust yourself. Trust that you'll do right by yourself. Trust that you know what you're doing, and if you don't, that you're trying to figure it out. But ultimately, that's the one person that can never give up on yourself if you do it right. Trust yourself. Thank you.